a little bit, introduce yourself and tell us just a little bit about yourself.
Okay, hey, I'm Bill Crowell. I am a United Methodist minister here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and I am a graduate of the doctoral program with the University of Creation Spirituality. I graduated in 2001. I was in the first class in 1997. And so that's pretty cool. Yeah, I got to be there right at the very beginning of that dream that we had together. And so it's been a wonderful ride.
Oh, wonderful.
So I'm married, have my wife Linda and two stepsons, Brian and Ben. They're almost out of the house, almost. So,
cool, wonderful.
That's me.
Well,
yeah.
You are doing Essential 5, I think, today.
Yeah.
Is that right? Yeah, the glorious diversity.
That's it.
So tell us, what does this essential mean to you, Bill?
You know, this one is really one of my favorite essentials because it talks so much about the incredible wonder and beauty and that is in diversity. It is the way of the universe. The way of the universe is diversity. The way of life is diversity. And we see it in so many wonderful ways. I mean, I'm sitting here inside my dining room here in the house, and I've got a beautiful picture window to my right, and it is an absolutely gorgeous day today. And I just, you just have to open your eyes, really, and see the incredible diversity of plants and with everything blooming and this time of year, it is just amazing. And so these are always, it's one of my favorite times of year. I love autumn too, but this one, the transformations that take place and that happen. And so, those are great things to, being a minister, to preach about, to talk about, to show how much God loves us in the diversity and the way he, she, the way God, our Creator, created everything, and it's just really joyful to when I deeply think about that, contemplate that. It is just really, it makes the world such a magical place to be in. And what I feel is, I look outside, there's heaven right there. It's right outside my door. I'm already in it, and so it means a great deal to me.
So how has this essential impacted you in your ministry?
Well, it's been a great thing for me as I've gotten back into preaching again at a church. I've been here almost 2 years, and doing that discipline week after week, I've found a way to preach for me that works for me, that allows me to tell a consistent message of saying that you, and I look into people's eyes all the time, you are a unique individual created just for this time that we're living in. And the person beside you is a unique individual, and only the person beside you and only you can, by being who you are, you're the only ones who can bring the message or the energy that you have to the world, because nobody else has that. And so it's a wonderful thing to preach about, to say, we need you in the world. We need your gift. We unique, particular way of thinking and seeing things and your creativity. So when you start talking to people like that, they begin to get excited, really. They begin to say, gosh, I never thought of myself that way. My mom always said this, my dad always said that. I never have thought of myself as being, something special. And I said, oh my gosh, not only are you special, but every living thing that we see around us is special too, is created for this time, this moment. And so it's a message that you have to say in many different ways, and you have to use lots of illustrations to say it. And I'm constantly, that's the minister's curse, is to find an illustration that always says it. But since I've gotten, since I've done my doctoral work, the truth is, it's everywhere. There's all kinds of illustrations, and you just open your eyes and you look, and you can find things from the universe, from science. You can find things from looking at animals and your own pets, let alone people and people's stories. About how they are resilient and make it through tough times, and they let their light shine in so many ways. So it's impacted my ministry in many, many ways. I really got out of. I was in so many books before, and I would study for sermons in a way that just really, now I see it was like a yoke around my neck, and it was just kind of a burden, the way I thought I had to preach every Sunday. And I felt really freed up I feel that I've got, and I continue to get and learn, about the message that I want to share. And I've got so many wonderful people, including Matt, Fox and Brian Swim and Ariana Diaz, and it just goes on and on and on. So many that I can learn from and use as illustrations, as resources, to do book studies, to do things like that. It's so that diversity is great. Now, I've got another thing I want to get to as well, Shelley, is it affected my ministry in that it broadened my horizons greatly. And so getting into interfaith ministry was a big thing for me. I've always enjoyed that, but I hadn't dived in, head first like I did when I got to Tulsa. And so I've really connected with the interfaith community here. I've got many, Muslim friends, Jewish friends, Hindu friends, and we've done great work together right here in Tulsa. And it's been a real joy. I mean, one project that I got to do here was something we put on YouTube, and it was simply answering questions that I kept getting from people. They'd send me on the internet, and they were just stupid questions, and racist questions that they said, "Oh, I saw this on the internet. What do you think about this?" And I just say, "Oh my gosh!" I said that's just crap, is what that is. And here, let me steer you a different direction. And so that led to a way of bringing all my friends together, and we met in this like TV studio is what we did, and I just interviewed them, and I just did all these interviews, and we talked about the hijab, and we talked about Sharia law, and we talked about, it just went on and on. What are your customs? Why do you do why do you do these things in Islam? And it was I think a great contribution to just the conversation that's out there to help try to steer away from the bigotry and all that was going on.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll stop there. I'll stop there.
Well, that's all right. One of the things you mentioned a few authors in there. Are there any specific recommendations of books or authors that you would want to lift up?
Well, absolutely. Thomas Berry would be just right at the top. He's fantastic, and his book Dream of the Earth is one of my favorites. I love also Lauren Isley. Lauren Isley is one of my favorite. He was an anthropologist, and his book The Immense Journey is just a classic, and I so love him. Of course, Brian Swim. He is one of my favorites. I love his. The great thing is you can get him on YouTube and see him. You can get his DVD series that he's done on the cosmos. So good. Just talking about. You want to look at diversity in the universe. Oh my gosh, it just goes on and on. He takes it to a whole nother level, and I just feel myself being lifted, when I listen to him and just, contemplate on that. The one that has meant a great deal to me, in just my own Christian walk has been Richard Rohr. Richard Rohr just hung the moon, as far as I'm concerned. He is one of the finest leaders out there right now, really giving what I think is the very essence of what Christianity was all about, and who Jesus really was, and the message he was really trying to bring. And it fits so much hand in glove with creation spirituality. It's just beautiful. It's just so beautiful. And I read, he does emails, a daily email that I read, and it's just, and I probably use him in my sermons as much as anybody, that's for sure, quite a bit. So those are just a few. I still love Joanna Macy and the work she's done too. But on this essential, those are really my favorites right there. Just really much.
Cool. So, what do you feel is the important message in this essential for your congregation or community or for the world?
Well, I've touched on that a little bit, Shelley. I've said that, because of every person's unique gifts that they bring into the world, then you can make a difference in this world. You have something to offer to the world. And so you need to do it. you have, in my way of looking at things, you have a responsibility to bring that. You have, because it's such a hurting world out there. There's so much pain, so much misunderstanding, so much, I want to say diversion, but that's not the right word. Just petty noise, just petty noise that's constantly going on. And if you can get focused and really get in touch with your own gifts, then you have something to say to the world. We need you. Come join us who are on that same journey, and because there's a whole lot of work to do. We've got to take this message of love and to all, and we've got to, the whole idea of diversity being such a beautiful thing. We humans haven't learned that yet. We just have not got that down, and we have. It's killing us. It's just killing us, and it is truly deadly out there. What's happening, and so to be. We can dance together. We can do art together. We can love together. We can do so many things that help to say there is another way. There is another way of living this world and really moving the kingdom. I'll use those terms, the kingdom of God along to keep bringing heaven right on down here. It's already here, as I say. It's right outside my window, and more and more is continuing to be ushered in. So our world, our communities need this kind of positive message, hopeful message, I think, and so I just feel that this is a message that really can preach right now, and there's a lot of work that we can jump right into.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, and that you really already went to this question, which is great, is how can understanding and living into this essential impact the world? Do you have any particular hope in that or vision of what that impact looks like?
Gosh, I would so hope that we could care enough about each other. I'm just taking the community that I live in right now, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have we're coming up on the 100th anniversary of the Tulsa Race Massacre, is what it is now called. They used to call it the Tulsa Race Riot, but we see it here now as the Tulsa Race Massacre that happened in 1921, and there's a whole lot of work kind of going on right now in racial justice and this kind of thing. And that's just, there's one group, the African American community in Tulsa. I can tell you, there's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of anger, a lot of folks who have, lived through that massacre that took place. 300 people were killed at least. I think there were much more, but that's about the official amount back in 1921. And just absolute craziness took over, and people were shot, killed. It was horrible, just horrible. But there's been such a silence about it over the last 95 years. I lived in Oklahoma in high school and college. I never heard a thing about the Tulsa Race Riot Massacre, never heard anything about it. Well, there's one place, just one place that I feel a real obligation as a white man, a white minister that has a mostly white congregation I need to learn all I can about white privilege, what it means, how can I really build relationships with my friends, with the African American community. I'm fortunate because I worked on the Martin Luther King Society that we have here in Tulsa, and so I do have a lot of friends, but it's more than that. I need to learn all the history that I can for the simple reason that just to start beginning to take some new steps together to say, you're my brother, you're my sister, and I want you to have the same economic privileges that I enjoy just because of my white skin. It's absurd, but it's a crime, truly, to see the economics in our country and what has played out all this time. My friends in the African American community are absolutely wonderful people, all of them, and I'm blessed to know them. But that's just one area that I really feel, because I live in Tulsa, Oklahoma, that I've got. I really have put a lot of time in, especially this year. I've read many books on it and trying to do all I can to make a change, make difference, and with my congregation too.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Good.
Well, anything else you'd like to add, or that we didn't touch on? We touched on.
Wow, we did. We touched on a lot. Yeah, we did. I didn't talk about, the animals in the world. That's the other one. I have a real passion for the environment and the animals that live in it. And I have, 2 dogs and a cat, and all that. And I love birds and all this, and just seeing that kind of diversity too. I would love to see us, continue to find good ways of helping the wildlife that live all around us live better. That we have areas carved out for beauty and for animals to live and be in. That's just another piece of this that I really love. So that's probably it. That's enough.
Yeah, well, Bill,
Okay.
thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate it.